fragrances for women that drive men crazy. So I have a small list here of fragrances that are pretty popular, have really good reviews, and are overall very effective and have very good performance. And as always, everything I mentioned will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. Now, I'm going to start with two that are from the same brand and are both extremely popular, which is Versace Bright Crystal and Versace Yellow Diamond. So these two fall into the same vein of being extremely versatile, extremely, they have good performance, and they're just, pretty much everyone I've heard of really enjoys these fragrances, both men and women. I think it's because they're simple but effective, both of them. So I would say Bright Crystal is a little bit more on the sweet, fruity side, meanwhile Yellow Diamond is a little bit more on the fresher, more citrusy, more crisp side. But they're overall pretty similar in terms of sweetness and longevity. Both last about 5 to 6 hours, I would say, in most instances. Now, I would say that Bright Crystal is more versatile just by a little bit compared to Yellow Diamond. Because I always think of Yellow Diamond as more of a summer/springtime fragrance. Meanwhile, I think of Bright Crystal as just kind of a year-round type of fragrance. It's very versatile in that way. And both of these fragrances are extremely well-liked because they're just kind of built that way. They're designed to be as likable as possible. The downside to that is that they're not incredibly unique. You know, many different types of fragrances smell similar to these, so you're not going into unknown territory when you wear these. But maybe that's not what you want. Maybe you just want to smell good, period, and that's it. You just want to make sure that you smell nice whenever you go out. These will do that very easily. And I would say both of these you could easily wear to many different occasions, to work, to a date, to hanging out with friends, just walking outside. You know, you could wear these to a lot of different occasions, and they would work very well. As I said before, this one is a little bit more of a hot weather scent compared to this one, but it's not a hard and fast rule. They're both very versatile and very nice smelling. You know, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of warmth to them, fresh. You know, they kind of have all the benefits that you could ask for. Now, the only thing is the longevity. Both of them are on the lighter side. They have pretty average longevity. But, you know, if they start to fade during, you know, halfway through the day, you can always reapply them pretty easily. And another benefit of them is that both of them are very affordable. I want to say they're about $50, $60, so they're not crazy, you know, like these $300 perfumes. So it's kind of a bargain. Now, going for something a little bit more heavy compared to these ones, I would say Black Opium from Yves Saint Laurent. So pretty much all the reviews I see of this thing, most people really like it. Men and women, especially men, really like this fragrance. It was a little bit oversaturated about 10 years ago. Everyone was wearing it, especially going out to parties, going out to the nightclubs. Less saturated these days, which is nice because it's a little bit more unique now. So it's primarily a sweet fragrance, has a little bit of spiciness to it, a little bit of warmth. It has some black coffee, some orange blossom, some cedar wood, some nice scents thrown in there. But overall, it is a pretty sweet, feminine scent on the heavier side of the spectrum. As I said before, it was very popular for going out to clubs, so it's pretty strong. And you can easily get a little bit overpowered with this if you put on too much. So when you do put it on, put on a little bit at a time. And it will perform very well. I would say longevity is a big jump to 7 to 8 hours, I would say on average, and which is nice because you don't really have to reapply it. Now, even though it is a clubbing fragrance just by its history, I would also say it's really good for cold weather because it does have that strength, that longevity. It has a certain warmth to it, And in general, just a nice fragrance for cold weather. It really complements the cold with its sort of coziness to it. But this is a very, very attractive, very sexy fragrance. And besides this one, if you want to go for something a little bit sweeter, not quite as heavy, I would say Montserrat Instant Crush. So I've described this before as being almost identical to Baccarat Rouge 540, but better because it's more smoothed out, it's more refined, it's not quite as... Because Baccarat Rouge has gotten very oversaturated recently. This is like just a different twist of it. Like I said, smoother, more sophisticated. It has some similar notes. It has some of the saffron notes. It has some of the sweet notes blended with the spice notes. So it's very similar, but it just has that little twist, that little thing that differentiates it, which makes it very nice. I believe it's a unisex scent, and even though it is sweet, men can still wear it as well as women. Very versatile. This is another one that's kind of better for colder weather because it's on the warmer side and it's pretty strong. I would say longevity is about 7 to 8 hours as well. So you won't have to worry about reapplying it. You more have to worry about putting on too much and just blasting the room with this fragrance. But besides that, this is a very sophisticated option, especially if you want to go for something more spicy, sweet, that also performs very, very well throughout the day. Great projection, great longevity, and is similar to Baccarat Rouge, but just on a different type of scale. Now, the last one that I have is arguably one of the most popular of all time, in modern times at least. This is Light Blue from Dolce & Gabbana. I have a feeling that most people are familiar with this, have heard about it, have seen it at some point, probably have smelled it at some point. Very, very agreeable apple, citrus, fresh linen type of scent. So this is the scent that you would wear if you just want to smell as agreeable and likable as possible, because that's what it's designed for. It doesn't have any weird notes, it doesn't have anything strange. It's just a nice, fresh, feminine, simple fragrance. You could use this throughout the year, maybe a little bit less so during the colder months because it doesn't quite complement that cold weather as much. It's pretty light. I would say longevity, that's kind of its main issue. Longevity is about 4 to 5 hours, so pretty moderate, edging on weak. But in general, the smell alone is really, really nice, super versatile. Any occasion you can think of, you can wear this. There's no occasion where you can't wear this, except, like I said, maybe in freezing weather. But in general, very, very pleasant fragrance. Just a very natural type of scent. But that is pretty much my list for this video. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, of course, you can leave a like and maybe subscribe. And I make a few videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.